So the independent journalist whose viral video grabbed the nation's attention on the rampant fraud scandal in Minnesota, Nick Shirley, was back on the scene at the Quality Learning Center in Minneapolis, who apparently just fixed a misspelling in the name Learning. But Shirley got chased away from agitators as things got heated. Now, this comes as Tim Walz faces serious calls to resign as Minnesota governor, with the feds going door to door to suspected fraud sites and following the money. Governor Walz sure has a lot to answer for, considering he was bragging on the national stage about how, quote-unquote, easy he made it to open up child care centers in his state. During the vice presidential debate, watch this.
As far as childcare on this, you have to take it at both the supply and the demand side. And we have to make it easier for folks to be able to get into that business and then to make sure that folks are able to pay for that. We were able to do it in Minnesota, and I'm still telling you this. We were listed as the best state. We're still in crisis on this.
You ain't kidding. And this is pretty outrageous. A legal reporter for Politico backtracking after suggesting in a tweet posted on X that any reporter investigating the Somali fraud scandal in Minnesota could have been legally shot. Josh Gerstein shot, saying, quote, at some point, the amateur effort to knock on doors of home daycare intersects with robust stand-your-ground laws. And he followed that up with, to observe that something is likely to happen or that there's a serious risk of it happening is not to advocate for it happening. So he tried to clean that up. So, Joey, you and I would talk about this on the break. I don't even know if Minnesota has stand-your-ground laws. I doubt they do. But what's your take?
Yeah, so stand-your-ground law means that you are not obligated to run from a threat. It means you can stand your ground if someone's threatening you. So if you're taking someone knocking on your door as a threat, you've got bigger problems. Someone needs to remind him this is actually Minnesota, around Minneapolis, not Mogadishu. So two different places there. And so he should probably understand that. Beyond that, really what it is, I mean, let's call it what it is. What they've said is if you are taking objection to both the fraud that's happening and then taking a second look at the mass migration of Somalis as refugees, or if you're looking at the naturalization of them who have come here and defrauded the country, then you're racist. And that's what was used against anyone asking questions to begin with. That is documented in court.
Oh, yeah.
So, you know, if you want to use this use the Second Amendment against us, say, whatever brings you to the carpet on Second Amendment, I'll listen, but this ain't it, brother. Figure it out. Read a little bit. Isn't that hard?
You know, you're talking about the, what was it, Fund Our Future case, $250 million stolen, and they tried to reach the jury, and they told the jury, hey, when you get back into the jury room and doing deliberations, say this is all a racist plot against migrants, and let's fix the jury. It didn't work. She went to the authorities, and they got in more trouble. Tyrus, you made a similar point last night on Gutfeld. You want to double tap that?
Well, I just want to double tap. Tim, resign. You need to resign. Like this, you've been doing damage control for the last couple of years, and you've done a horrible job at it. Now it's the baby's here. And someone's got to raise this little bastard, because it is, you can't hide it. And the fact that you used it on the campaign trail should let Andy, now listen, I did not serve the badge like you did, sir, but I have watched a lot of Murder, She Wrote. And if you are praising yourself over something that's a fraudulent scam, because you know the numbers are good, there's a good chance that, and we used the magic word yesterday like this, complacent, then you were very complacent, complacent to what has been going on. And now everybody's asking questions. And people are just, and you want to discourage him or call him names or go after him. An everyday kid off the street with his parents and an iPhone was able to find unbelievable amounts. It was 119 million or something he's at this point. That was just a Saturday weekend.
One day, yeah.
He goes to one building and they misspelled learning. I mean, like I said, I don't think you need a two-part series for this particular episode. I think Angela Lansbury, rest her soul, could have wrapped this up in one commercial break.
I think that made me Angela Lansbury there for a second. I'm not sure how I feel about that.
You know, leering, lowing, Angela Lansbury.
Listen, Kellyanne, I want to expand the canvas here a little bit because I think this could be a big story. I think it's going to go on. It's going to take us into the midterm for 2026. This is right in your wheelhouse. What's your take?
Yeah, so whenever there's social spending for new programs or existing programs without oversight, this is often what happens. And especially when it's in the name of kids or nutrition or education or healthcare. People say, oh, yes, or climate. Oh, yes, I must do that. That's wonderful. Let's give more money to that, but no oversight. This hurts Tim Walz, but it hurts Kamala Harris as well. Her first big decision was Tim Walz. And she didn't make many good ones or any at all after that. We wouldn't even know who he was as a nation without her saying, this is the guy I want to be a heartbeat away from President Kamala. America laughed and didn't vote for them. But when you talk about this in terms of a plot scene, Tyrus, I think the sequels are all going to be worse than the original. Because just in Minnesota, Paul, we have 14 programs with billions of dollars spread across them. Yeah. This is one of the programs. The other one is Feeding Our Future. Nobody was getting fed. Here, nobody's learning a darn thing, including the letter N in the word learning. They learned that today, the adults. And when you start to unpack this and you start to look at other states, you're going to find something like HUD just admitted. HUD just admitted 30,000 illegal migrants or deceased people received tenant benefits, living benefits from the Biden administration. So everywhere you look, there's going to be COVID-level fraud, there's going to be fund mismanagement. And how do we know this? Because Governor Tim Walz said he's on the case. He's been investigating fraud, and yet the moment somebody sniffed around and said, wow, look at the fraud, look at the gambling happening in your casino, he called it white supremacy.
Yeah,
Trump is practicing Trump. Why do we care about this? We care about this because these are federal tax dollars going to our different states for these programs under the guise of helping people. They're hurting people. There probably are hungry kids. There probably are ones that need good childcare. And last point, people are asking all the time, why is the FBI there? Why is Homeland Security Investigation there? Why is DHS there? Ask yourselves why the FBI investigated Donald Trump while he was out of office. Why did you pay for that? Ask yourselves why the FBI did all the nonsense on the 7th floor to stop him from becoming president and concocting Russia collusion. And every single one of you that conclusion in search of evidence for 3 years called Russia collusion. I have a conclusion, now I'll find the evidence. The evidence is here. The conclusion is simple. Fraud, right under your noses. Why is DHS involved? Why did DHS investigate our brave men and women at the border and accuse them of whipping migrants, which nobody was doing? We spent money on that. You spent federal tax dollars on that nonsense.
And Mayorkas came out and swore to that to the American public, and he knew at the time it was fake.
False.
You know, Richard, I got to ask you, you know, it's American money. Minnesota owes us all money because it's federal money. So they owe everybody here, everybody across the country money. But here's the thing. This money's supposed to go to American kids. And it's not. So, like, you know, what's your take on this? I don't see how it's defensible.
I mean, well, I think there's a lot of mixing happening in this story. So, number one, background, there was a federal probe open on this in 2022 by Merrick Garland, right? The folks who were indicted and prosecuted were American citizens. Some of them, yes, were Somali refugees that settled here, but they were American citizens. And many of the children who were involved in this program were also born here and were American citizens of Somali descent. And so I think what we have happening here is people are mixing folks who have immigrated here versus folks who are not citizens. These are citizens of the United States who just happen to be Somali. And I think when you talk to the Somali community who live in Minnesota, many of them who are naturalized American citizens, or some of them who are born in the United States, what they're saying is you are trying to basically throw the baby out with the bathwater and blaming our entire community for 1 or 2 or 3 bad actors, or maybe 20 bad actors, but there's 80,000 Somalis who live in Minnesota. And so I think we as a group and as journalists have to be very careful about how we talk about this story. There are some fraudsters in Minnesota who are engaging in bad acts. There's an investigation being done by the Justice Department and other entities of both the Minnesota government and the federal government investigating them. That does not mean that there should be a wholesale attack against the Somali community or immigrant communities in general.
If it's systemic to the Somali community, which is the allegation, and
no. There's a group of people.
You brought those people here from a country that we.
No, wait a minute.
You brought those people here from a country.
Some of them were born
Absolutely.
here.
Yes. Okay.
Some of them were
first
born
generation from that. I mean, President Trump has his own take on naturalization
Some of them were born
and
here.
birthright citizenship. But if you're born into a culture and a community that dances around with another country's flag, because I mean, I saw the videos today that says things there was a Somali leader introducing Ilhan Omar saying she's not talking about America. She's not talking about Minnesota. She's advocating for Somalia. That's the problem, is if you have a community that comes here to this country so tight-knit and so still adhere to the country they came from, that they don't have any sort of allegiance here.
My parents are immigrants to this country, but I am an American too. And that's what makes America.
What we want.
And that's what makes America.
And that's what we want.
And so are the people. So are the 80,000 Somalis who are also born in this country.
I can't say that wholesale. I'm seeing fraud from fraud
that
from
is
that
what
community.
makes America America, is that Amon,
I'm seeing
the
a state
supermodel,
pander to
was
that community
also
and
Somali,
change their
but
state
she
flag
was
to
born
mimic the
here.
country they come from.
She's a refugee
I see
here.
Ilhan Momar
That's
go
what
on
makes
there.
this
All right,
country
guys.
great.
I think everybody's
advocating for
too close to it.
Somalia
I
instead
talked
of
That's
about
what
a
makes
baby.
Minnesota or the
what
United
makes this
States.
country great is
All
that
right, we gotta go. We gotta go. They're yelling at me.
was
We-
a refugee.
I'll get out in the
She came here and
break.
became the Secretary of State. That's what makes America great.
Well, listen,
Period.
all I can say is by that metric, the mafia must have been Malaysian, all right? Because, that's
Oh,
that
come
really,
on. That means
doesn't
so now you're saying
hold,
all
right?
Italians
Come on.
are criminals?
No, that's
Wow,
exactly
you
what
didn't
I'm
hear that.
saying. All right, come on. We
That's
gotta,
wrong.
We
That's
got.
my point.
I agree. All right, let's move on.
Hey, Sean Hannity here. Hey, click here to subscribe to Fox News YouTube page and catch our hottest interviews and most compelling analysis. You will not get it anywhere else.